Welcome to another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. I'm your brother, old guy from Hip Hop News Uncensored, and sitting across from me is my co-host.
What it do? What's good? It's your brother SamAnt, Viral Hip Hop News. Another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. Oh God, what's good, my brother?
What's good, man? Happy, elated to be in the building once again for another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. Slowly approaching our 100th episode, at least on paper. It's probably been more, but
Indeed.
just continuing to fight and continuing to move. We're gonna deal with some real good stories today in the hip hop arena. But if you're listening on iTunes, Facebook, on Instagram, wherever you're gonna see this clip at, just go ahead and share the video. On YouTube, people, as always, hit the like button and make sure that you share this video. So yeah, we got a nice little lineup today. We're gonna talk about Cardi B being sued, Diddy leaving his opinion on the king of R&B, Juelz Santana, taking a plea deal, at least on paper right now. It's not final, but he knows what he might get at this point. So we're going to talk about that, as well as some other things today on the Uncensored Truth Podcast. Man, ready to get it in, Sam, man? You ready?
Indeed, man. It's good, man. You were just talking about it's almost close to the 100th episode, and it makes me think back to we got this going in March, and it makes it seem like it's been years and years since we got the podcast going, but it's only been since March 2018. So you think 9 months now. So we've been rolling, and it's been an awesome experience. And almost 100th episode was probably more once we've been recording, but we've been officially keeping count, almost going toward 100. So exciting to see what we got going on in 2019. Got some things going on behind the scenes. So the infrastructure is being built, the foundation is being built for something real major.
Yes, sir.
Excited about it, man. But let's get on with the show. Let's work.
Yes, sir. Well, speaking about March, that was when Dipset rapper Juelz Santana fled authorities, back at the Liberty Newark airport when he had a loaded 38 caliber handgun, some unprescribed oxycodone pills, that he had on the carry-on bag, which he left his identification in. Now, when they found it, he ran, fled, had to turn himself in, and we were all kind of waiting. Stories came out he may face up to 15 years, in prison. Well, we now know that a plea deal was on the table for him to get either 27 to 37 months in prison, or if he fights the case, and loses, he can face 47 to 57 months, in prison. Now, Juelz Santana goes on to say the whole situation has been an overwhelming nightmare. He says, it's coming down to the wire, and I still don't know what decision I'm going to make. He goes on to say, then a day later, he says, so I decided to take the plea deal. I felt like it was the least selfish choice for my family. I still don't have no full closure because at the end of the day, I know the final decision is on the judge. He could give me more time than the time agreed on. Just when I felt like I was going to be getting some closure, the problems just begun. So we see that, he's going to take the plea deal. The judge could, elect to give him a little more time, or he could be facing anywhere from 2.5 to about 3 years, in prison. SamAnt, what are your thoughts on Juelz Santana deciding not to fight the case, but to just take the deal and get it over with for his fam?
We were wondering when this went down because it came in March, and this is when we started the podcast on the old set. I remember it, and we were just like, "Damn, Juelz, Newark, what are you doing? The gun, what is going on?
Yeah.
What was going through this man's head? Did somebody plant this on him? Was he on drugs? What happened?" And now, the more that time went on, is probably we can attribute it maybe to him may have been on something, may have been a little bit of a problem going on with Juelz. So when you think about the time, maybe he needs a little more help. Maybe he needs rehabilitation. We were talking about that with Ty Dolla $ign yesterday, that got caught with the situation down in Fulton County, Georgia, and he's looking to do 15. And I know you reported on the Hip Hop News Uncensored close to 30 years now. So that situation is looking real dire for him. And Juelz Santana was being hit with the feds, and it was looking at Fed time, and it was looking very serious to bring a gun. We weren't condoning that. That was real stupid. And we said that. Why do you have a gun in your bag and then you take off? You just look and scream guilt. Never really said why he had it. And I don't know if he's allowed to even talk about it, but I would love to know if he was just like, listen, man, I have a problem. I have an addiction. And if that was the case, would that even help him in a situation? Only, who knows?
I think it definitely would help him. He could probably get off, with saying that he needed for protection. He's a rapper. Nobody got injured here. So, it's not really that. He's going to do time. Obviously, he's in Jersey at the airport. It's a public safety risk, and it's at an airport. And then you got the oxycodone pills. Then you couple that with his history, his police history and all that. They look at all that stuff when they're trying to come up with a sentence. So I think that they'll probably give him, the latter, the 2.5 to about 3 years. You have to sit and think about that. It sucks, but it was just a stupid decision. I know he's probably like, damn. There's a lot of dudes in jail like, man, I should have never did that, or I should have, did this or thought this way. But I just don't know. I mean, the pills is one thing, but how does the gun, like you get a gun to an airport, is super crazy. But at this point, it's like 2.5, 3 years, 5, 6.
How much?
What I mean?
How much of that does he realistically serve? Does he serve that full 2 to 3 years? Because we've seen people get 2 to 3 year sentences and then serve 5, 6, 8 months of that. So does he serve the full time even at 2 to 3?
Well, you can get paroled a lot of times on different things, so you probably won't have to do that full, time. Or the judge could, say, look, you got to do this, minimum before you can get out. So we have to wait till the actual sentence comes down, But there are cases where people, you'll get sentenced to 3 years. You may do, 12 months or less. You know what I mean? It just all depends. Getting on parole, you're still kind of halfway in, halfway out. You got to piss. You got to maintain a job. You got to do all this stuff. So if you violate, you end up back in there. So a lot of times people just say, I want to max out because I don't want to be on the papers when I come out. So, we'll definitely see how that goes.
Now, he talked about and alluded to the fact that he's worried that the judge could possibly give him more time, more extending it on even more than a plea. Even if he pleaded, they could throw more time on it. Do you see that happening in this situation?
I don't, but it could, because you got a guilty plea. Once you get the guilty plea, it says, okay, these are the guidelines where you can go from either here to here. You know what I mean? So you can either give them the lower or the higher. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. I mean, it's not like a real no, it was like, again, it's not no bodily harm, nobody was particularly injured like that. So I see him kind of getting off with the lower end here, maybe 2.5, 3 years, definitely. Maybe probably getting out a little sooner than that on a bracelet or something. We'll see what they negotiate.
I'm thinking of something sooner. I'm thinking that realistically, they'll probably get him on 2 to 3 years and he'll be out. I don't know if he'll do a year in jail. And that's just me personally, my gut feeling in this situation.
Right, no doubt.
Based off of good behavior, like you said, they'll put him on a bracelet, house arrest, things like that. I think he's making the right decision in a fucked up situation. Got to just know better in next time. Like Jersey in particular, you got the gun and things like that. Maybe you weren't right in your mind. Who knows? But he'll make it out of this.
Yeah, I think he did propose to Kimbella. You know what I mean? Did that in front of everybody. And I guess he's probably like, every man comes to that point where it's like, man, I've been there before. I'm like, I'm doing some nutty stuff out in the street. It's time to really buckle down and do the family thing. So maybe he's at that point at his life where it's like, man, I could really end up, throwing all this shit away. And me being away from my family is income loss. I don't care what Kimbella's doing. It's better with both of them there.
Yeah, fact.
You know what I mean? Him getting show money and all that. So it's going to be a little hit, but it's something that he can definitely learn from. That's what he probably thought. He's like, man, either 2, I probably come home sooner, or at least like 4 or 5. I can't be away from my family for that long. So I just take the deal and come back and get this bread.
And it's a shame that, and they throw these deals at them because they know they just want the time. Right. They just want the damn time. Yeah. They'll throw football numbers at them initially and then just negotiate. It's like a damn car deal. It's ridiculous. Car deal and salesman with your life. Yeah, we see that up going on with our man, your man, 6ix9ine. Right now, that's what's probably going on. Feds are bargaining right now. They trying to sell that whip. Right. But yeah, in regards to Juelz, you be all right, man. We think this will be cool. Nobody's saying that sitting a day in jail and missing your family is anything cool, but we see you making it out of this situation, man.
I think that that they should lighten up, on the gun laws, and I can see if somebody's like a violent offender or something like that or something crazy, but like, a lot of different states are different, but we understand why a judge would have to sit here and be, understanding on why a rapper that's rappers getting killed every day, robbed, why a rapper would have a gun, you know what I mean? But airport, that was stupid. He made a mistake.
All right. So with that being said, do you think that it killed him or hurt him by running? Because we've seen a similar situation going with T-Pain. I don't know if it was in Tennessee or Florida, somewhere down south where he got hit with a gun. It was a registered gun. It wasn't meant to be in his bag. He talked about it, got a little fine, dealt with the situation. Do you think a similar situation would have happened in Jersey, albeit the gun laws are very strict in Jersey? Do you think it would have been a lot easier on him if he would have just sat there and owned up to it and talked to the authorities and took care of that as opposed to taking the fuck off?
I mean, that's probably, I could say that. Right. And yeah, like Jersey. Logically, yeah, you'd be like, Jersey. Right. You'd be like, yeah, but of course, he still got arrested and all that, but maybe the judge would have looked at it a little different. But he was always maintaining early on in this that it wasn't his. Somebody planted it on him.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I guess, you know, again, like you said, they give you those deals because they already know.
Right.
Like, all right, he's not trying to, you know, be away from his family. We'll put this on the table. He'll take this. We'll get the conviction, get our little bonus, and move on.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So yeah, man. Shout out to Juelz, you know, Kimbella and his family over there, a real beautiful family, and it looks like he's about to do some real positive thing. But he got to go sit, you know, for a little while in the Bing, you know, and then learn from that. But they'll be fine, man. So that's you know, that's the news right there on Juelz Santana and Uncensored Truth podcast. Let's get it, man.
Indeed, indeed.
Yes, sir. But you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Oh God, and SamAnt, going in today on this Tuesday afternoon. I want to play this clip, man, because there's been a lot of controversy, you know, going on. I want to ask you too, SamAnt, after this clip is played, about the king of R&B.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We can go back to your, you know, Bobby Brown's, your R. Kelly. We could talk Usher. We could talk Trey Songz, Jacquez. You know, I've been saying a lot of things, but Diddy, no, undoubtedly, you know, one of the pioneers in music, period. You know, one of the OGs in the game, you know, gave his opinion. So I want to play this clip and then get your thoughts. We're going to talk about this a little bit.
I heard we talking about some king shit. Y'all know I usually mind my business, but R&B is the foundation of my life, you know, and to be a king that's some other shit. Yeah, that word king is too loosely thrown around, you know. Now I understand the concept that we are all kings. Now I understand that, but if we're talking about in the competitive arena of music, yeah, cats give away the king thing too early, you know. A couple of hits ain't gonna do it. And let's get to the topic of R&B. We talk about rhythm and blues. We talk about sharing your soul. We talking about making love through, you know, making love through your music, making a whole generation of babies. Adoring a woman, you know, not you know, putting it down, or not talking about how you just want to smash her. You know what I'm saying? Adoring her. So in order to be the king of R&B, first of all, you got to start making some R&B. You have to be vulnerable. You have to be speaking about love. You have to affect women in a positive way. And your ass got to be able to sing. And we talking about really sing. So all you future kings, I want you to be inspired. We talking about future kings. And you could do it, but go ahead and get to it, man. You know what I'm saying? Sing somebody's drawers off. Man, I mean, then you gotta write a #1 record. You gotta have a whole bunch of #1 records. You know? That really means something. Okay, I'm signing off. About to go in this gym, trying to get my life right. Somebody please make some R&B and send it to me. King or queen. Let's get to it. Let's make love. Oh yeah. Yo, then the last thing is most important. R&B's not being made right now. This is not R&B. I just want to make sure you're clear. I'm not trying to you gotta make some R&B to be the king of.
Ooh, shots fired from Diddy. SamAnt, R&B singer. I'm gonna let you knock this one out the park first, man. Go ahead, man.
I'm sitting here saying to myself, and the first thing I was gonna say was, you know what Diddy sound like he's saying? He sound like ain't no real R&B being made right now. And then he said it, he confirmed it, and he's right. You can't have R&B, and this is no disrespect to your T-Pains, who's mastered the art of auto-tune, who took that. I forgot my man's name. Y'all got to apologize for that, but it was a pioneer in that as well. But you can't sit there and auto-tune it out and draw it out and sit there and call this R&B. Yeah, we're in a different age of music and things like that. We got trap soul and things like that, but that ain't R&B.
Right.
When you think of the glory years of R&B, which was what, the 90s, R&B was it was an R&B renaissance. And you think of the artists that came out, and then I'm talking real R&B, the R. Kellys of the world, the Cases of the world, the Joes of the world, the Avants of the world. You talking real R&B singers, you know what I mean? The Usher, then you got Usher, and then you got Trey Songz, Chris Brown. Right. You got people that could really sing, and then you got your artists that kind of took and ran out the genre. Usher ran out the genres, Chris Brown ran out the genre a little bit and did their pop thing, and you seen this R&B kind of get diluted in a way, and it lose its essence and lose its soul. When you can go and sing, you got to sing a verse and you got to throw a hook down, then another verse, and you got to hit your ass with a fucking bridge, and then the hook bringing it home, and then your ad-libs got to be crazy. Yeah, the song may have to be 5 minutes and 13 seconds. Get ready to tell a story on the song. You can't go and give me a 2-minute, 15-second R&B song. Like you said, you got to sing the draws off a woman. And I know in no woman that wants a minute, man, you got to sing a fucking song and bring that shit home. We don't get that in R&B anymore. People's attention spans is all over the place. So when I hear Diddy go, I don't hear no R&B. Who the king of R&B? I don't hear it. Now you got Tanks out there now that's really singing and doing his thing, that's bringing R&B back. Mario, he had an album that came out a couple months ago doing this thing in R&B, and you got your R&B singers that were really in an uproar with what my man said as far as him being the king of R&B. But those are a lot of people from yesteryear, and that's one thing about R&B niggas that crack me up. They never want to. They live in the past so much. They get one hit out there and they the king, and they never want to live it down. We remember in my day, Baba, what have you done now? Right. And if you haven't done anything within the last 10 years, sit your old ass down. You have no business in this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, you make some great points about like the type of music now. It's like everybody wants to rap slash, do the Drake type of little thing and act like they really killing it with the R&B. I definitely agree 100% with everything, and Diddy said, but I think he was kind of taking a shot at this brother right here. I want to play his clip, Juelz, who's been making waves. He had the LMA remix, Snatched Down, by DJ Mustard. He's been on Hot 97 on the Breakfast Club. I'm going to play a clip from this brother, and I'm here to get your thoughts on this one real quick too.
What's good, y'all? What's good? I know I got a pimple on my chin. I'm gonna bust that later. But I just want to let everybody know that I'm the king of R&B right now for this generation. I understand who done came and who done did that and that and that, but that's my time. Juelz, the king of R&B. I just heard me say it, and I've been feeling like that. ATL, let's get it. I'm the new king of R&B.
Is that laughable? Dude can sing. I didn't mean to laugh like that, but is he the king of R&B? And who is your king of R&B?
How many ballads has he done? How many ballads has he been able to bring home? When I mean by a ballad, I mean, like I said, you got to bring a verse, a hook, a verse, a bridge. You got to slow it down. You got to bring something to that you can just go head in. You know what I mean? And I think of a lot of R&B groups when I think of a lot of just your signature ballads, your Boys the Men's, your Drew Hills, your Jagged Edges. Where have you brought these signature timeless ballads from that your R&B legends are known for? When you think of R. Kelly, I could think of some ballads. I Believe I Could Fly comes to mind when I think of R. Kelly, and I think that's the #1 selling album of all time. When it comes to that, R. Kelly is no joke. R&B ballad. When I think of, when you could think, you could throw anyone. Case, Happily Ever After. Yeah. And I mean, Joe had I Want to Know. Avant, he had what he have. He had the one with Kiki Wyatt. Forgot what the song was called.
Usher had numerous ones.
Chris Brown has had numerous ballads. You got to be able to sing a song. Right. Miss me with the auto tune. Sing a song, real song, and then maybe you can come at me. Until you do, then maybe you are the prince of whatever genre you got going on right now. And that's
who's the king, SamAnt, though? Who would you say is the king
R&B?
Of R&B? Without it's hard. I think it's hard to really say that if there is a king. Is there a king first? Or who you think's the king if there is a king?
R. Kelly.
They're gonna get slack. Woo for that one.
At what? You asked me who the king of R&B.
I mean, it's just how people are.
Yeah, I mean, barring
how you
all
say
the
he's
nonsense,
the king when he had, how I go.
You know what's funny though? Remember when you showed me a clip a couple months ago of your boy R, and he was going in freestyling, and you was like, this dude is bananas. He still can do it. Yeah. And you look at the records and the amount of just the work that he's put in. Until he stops doing R&B, he's the king of R&B. Now that being said, you got numerous artists out here doing great things. Like I said, I respect the hell out of what Tank's doing. I still respect what Usher's doing. I will listen to an Usher album all day. I respect what Mario's doing. And when the R&B albums come out, I listen to them. Chris Brown, Heartbreak on a Full Moon, excellent album, but he was singing and rapping a little bit. That wasn't what I consider an R&B album. Neo's last album, I went and listened to that. It's all right. I like a real good R&B album. I like to listen to music.
Yeah, no doubt.
I know Trey Songz is your dude. You like listening to Trey Songz. He needs to come out with a real good R&B album. I don't want to hear that Drake shit. Sing some music. Right. You know what I mean? So that is missing in today's society. And it really goes to just like our youth are dumbed down, and we don't really see that praising of a woman like that in music like we used to. And it goes to
kind of like
disrespect that is different. Even in, I don't know, I don't really listen to Jacquees music like that. And I don't know how he's big in women, so I don't want to disrespect the kid in that regard, but it's just not the same, man.
Right. Yeah. And I definitely, R. Kelly, I would say, Usher, you can put up there. It's a lot of other people that you can put, up there. But R. Kelly's a good pick, man, because he does it all. He does, any different type of way you want to do it, so definitely, man. But yeah, I gotta respect this conversation. And we're tired again of these, everybody just following the trends and the fads of trying to do this. Like, it's cool to do a nice R&B song every now and then. We would love to hear that.
Yeah, man.
Those are the ones like Diddy was trying to, say. It got to mean something. Those are the ones that you can listen to forever, not just something that's hot for this week, couple of weeks, and you just toss it away. You got too many of those cats that think they're R&B singers, the auto tunes and all. That's all watered down, man.
I think that's where the R&B group died. I think that's exactly where, and you go back to the 90s, the renaissance of R&B, and some of your greatest R&B songs were sang by R&B groups: Drew Hill, Jagged Edge,
Man,
12,
yeah, right.
Boys to Men. The list goes on. And they paved the way from some of your R&B singers. If you go back to some of your favorite R&B singers, a lot of their songs are groups. When this new age came in and it was like a little bit of trap soul, you had the auto tune and things like that. It was hard enough for one singer to go ahead and do that, let alone 3 or 4 to try to do that with harmony and things like that. So it really got hard to create creative wise for a group to figure out where their lane was and what they were really supposed to do, because no one was really listening to that authentic R&B anymore until it got completely extinct and people started thirsting for it again. And eventually people just, their ego, it was easier just to do this thing solo. It made more money. It was just, they got caught up in a box. And I think that you see a little bit of a resurgence, but they still lost its identity because they don't know where to go. And it's okay, like you said, to just sing real music. Just sing some songs. It's coming back. It's needed. It's a need for it.
Right.
So just sing again, man.
Yeah. And I think, it will, eventually, I think it'll all come back full circle, man.
Facts.
But definitely remember to tune into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Oh God and SamAnt, the best goddamn podcast right now out there. Make sure y'all go to iTunes, Spotify, or Google Play to check us out over there. And make sure y'all share, that link. I want to talk about this story right here, SamAnt, with Cardi B, because if you're not aware, she is due to pretty much, she's being sued pretty much by an ex-manager of hers, a guy called Shaft, was taking her to court for $10 million. And, pretty much saying that she, he got her hot. She, dipped off and went with another management group, kind of left, them high and dry. Well, Cardi B, they pretty much at one point agreed, Cardi and the other party, to like, while she was going through a pregnancy, to pretty much put it to the side. Well, now it's coming full circle. They're about to go to court on this thing. And now Cardi B is now countersuing him for $15 million, claiming that he tried to control her, and even her relationship with Offset. So, yeah, what do you think about, the situation? They're going to court. Obviously, it's not an outcome yet. What do you think about that, man? Due to go to court real soon here.
Just another day in the life of the music industry. You gotta love it. This kind of reminds me of Nicki and Fetty in the beginning of Nicki's career.
Yep.
When she was trying to get out of that, and he found her and kind of created her style, and we all know those stories. And then she jumped to Birdman and Cash Money, Lil Wayne, and it was some real discrepancy going on with that. This reminds me, as you talk about it, of a similar situation. And the end result is, I don't think Cardi B's really going to owe too much. She's going to throw him something. She's going to settle, even though she's playing hardball now, countersuing. She's probably trying to get that number down some.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And once she does, she'll go ahead, and this will be another forgotten about story, and she'll move on with her career. We all know the situation going on right now with her and her soon-to-be ex-husband, so we know we don't chatty patty over here, so you don't really hear the stories like that over here. With that being said, we all know. But it was allegations going on whether or not that was fixed, because we all know the person that she jumped to was his branded company, Offset's company. So a lot of things are soon to be unraveled. We'll see what happens. That being said, I don't see Cardi B giving that man a dime. I see I don't see $15 million being chalked up by him. I see her possibly just throwing him some money, shutting him up, and getting moving. Yeah,
he's definitely got the probably. I mean, if it is, he has any proof of a contract between them two,
which he does.
Probably, then you have to definitely shut up so much. She's making so much of it right now. Cut your losses, get rid of it, get it out your hair, and move on. There's so much money in front of that woman right now.
And people don't realize that's something as simple as a text message. Oh, we good? I'm your manager? Yes. Contract.
Yeah.
Screenshot. Boom.
Yeah.
That's it.
Definitely.
No.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother Old God and SamAnt. Today we're going in, man. Another beautiful, beautiful, episode of the Uncensored Truth podcast. As we know today, man, just rocking out, man. Everybody listening on YouTube, we need to do us two favors. As always, hit that like button and make sure that you share this video. So yeah, man, definitely.
Indeed, indeed. I'm looking through. Oh, God, did you see the game yesterday between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Miami Heat? I'm sure you didn't because you haven't really been on your basketball tip recently. But there was the final game, the final meeting between Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. And they made this fanfare about it. And they made this montage. They took Bad Boys 2 and We Ride Together, We Die Together, Bad Boys for Life. We all remember the scene. It's iconic. Yeah. But they put LeBron's face and Wade's face in there, and it was just so buddy, but they play for opposing teams. And I just wanted to know what your perspective on that is. Are you down for all this buddy shit in the NBA? Now, it's cool to be friends. We all know Magic and Mike were friends, and Mike and Charles were friends,
right?
But they weren't hugging and shit on the court. I mean, the last play of the game, you see Dwayne Wade and and LeBron laughing and joking, and then once the whistle blows, they start hugging each other. I mean, it's the Lakers versus the Heat. They're different teams.
Right.
But it's a love affair. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's a little different than the time we come up in. But I mean, I can't say, obviously when they play each other, they go at each other's throat. You know what I mean? I don't think they're letting up on each other, but different age, man. And LeBron's a different type of dude, class act. Not to say that, that any of those other players, something wrong with that gritty, kind of Detroit Piston attitude that, early 80s and 90s, Detroit Pistons. Yeah, man. So I don't know, man. I can't really read too much into that like that. You think it's makes him a little soft, like it's weak.
Yep.
Hey, come on, say it, man.
That's fucking toilet paper, soft as shit.
Damn.
You could be cool behind the scenes, but out there, let's be competitive. Let's be raw. Right. All right, it's your last game, but cool. Fuck you. On to your next. And then we could hug and talk after. We could do the barbecues after. You sitting here smiling in my face. It kind of makes me feel like even with that fight between LA and Houston early on, when we seen LeBron James grab Chris Paul, he took some slack for that. And I didn't really agree with that slack because he was the closest person to him. He was just getting people out the way. But we all know that's his boy. It's like, yo, it's come to a certain time where this is your team. That's their team. We got to draw the line for 82 fucking games. And let's rock. Okay, let that be your boy when y'all got the barbecues outside of here. We know we're not invited to your barbecues, LeBron James, once we're out of here. So can we at least be a part of your team and your squad once we're here?
Right.
Like, got show some kind of camaraderie and loyalty to the squad as opposed to individual players. You didn't see Jordan doing that. You didn't see Barkley doing that. You didn't see Isaiah doing that. Magic doing that. Bird doing that. And these are the people we grew up on. Like you said, different age, different time. We're not trying to sound like a bunch of old grizzly dudes, but the friendly shit, man, is just like save that for after you get off the court. Or off the field, man.
Facts.
Compete.
Definitely, man. But yeah, that kind of is what it is. Who you got at this point, man? The guy Patrick Mahomes out there. And do you got the Kansas City Chiefs now? I don't know, man. I'm starting to think that they may be able to go ahead and win it all this year.
I don't know about that, but I'm glad you brought him up. Did you see that no-look pass yesterday, man?
I didn't.
We're gonna see that boy.
Yeah,
bad.
Patrick Mahomes.
So look, He was in shotgun. He probably threw like maybe a 10, 15 yard out, but he's sitting there shuffling in the pocket.
Right.
I mean, he threw it no look and threw it to a spot and had homeboy just grab it. It looked like some fucking basketball shit. I'm like, yo, this boy right here can sling the rock and he's exciting.
Right.
And he has charisma. And we got to see, because we all know, as much as we love Andy Reid, and I don't like the Eagles, but he was around hard. Yeah, once he got to get to the big games, he chokes. Now he'll have a couple games, I believe, at home. Arrowhead, we all know, was a booming spot. You don't want to go to Arrowhead. So his chances right now are better than ever. I would almost argue
Patriots fuck around, knock them niggas off for the Steelers or something crazy like that.
Steelers don't look like they're making the playoffs.
Oh, okay. They have
you got the Patriots, but this is the best year than ever for the Patriots to go ahead and get knocked off, because they looking like they punch drunk. They ready to get knocked out. But you got the San Diego Chargers in your division that's ready. You got, who else we got out there in the AFC? We got the who else is out the AFC East balling right now? There's a couple teams out there that can give
Baltimore's
them a run.
right?
Baltimore's out there balling. So there's a couple teams out there that can give them a run for their money, and we all know the history of Andy Reid. But Patrick Mahomes, man, he's a beast. He's looking like he's edging out Drew Brees in the MVP race right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it pissed me off when they lost to the damn Cowboys. I mean, how do you know what I mean? The Stinks. How do you lose that game?
Just keep the fluke alive. Keep the bullshit alive.
Now the Cowboys. Now, what do you see the Cowboys doing? Like honestly, winning the first game probably.
You think they're beating Seattle? I'm glad they're going against Seattle. They're going against a hot Seattle team. What it looks like because
In Dallas probably because they don't win the NFCs.
I ain't worried about that with Seattle though.
Yeah.
You think Seattle? I mean, they some rough riders over there. Seattle got ballers, and that defense is young now, and they look like they're getting back to form.
I'm not confident in Prescott.
I'm not either.
Not at all. They got the back, and they got my man Cooper who just came over there. He's balling, but. You know, the Eagles, they suck. The secondary is garbage, so I don't think he's going to be able to do that against other teams.
But let me ask you a question. As an Eagles fan, are you comfortable? Because now we hear all these rumblings that Dallas should sign Prescott long-term. He should be their long-term quarterback. Does that excite you watching them sign him long-term as a quarterback?
Yeah, because he's like, he's going to throw the ball up.
He's not good.
It's like you can tell something going on, like in his mental. You can see it in his eyes. They did a lot of close-ups with him in that game. You can see it a lot of times. He was off, and it wasn't for Cooper and our fucked up secondary. He wouldn't have looked like he looked.
No, because he wasn't throwing anything elaborate. He wasn't throwing seams, post or anything, ins or outs or digs. He was throwing right down the field.
Yeah. And
he missed a couple.
Yeah.
If Cooper wasn't so goddamn fast, he would have missed Amari. He'd have missed him too.
Yeah, you're right. He did miss a few.
He got 4.3 speed. He was flying. Yeah. It's hard to miss somebody with 4.3 speed.
Right.
That was just keeping the fluke alive. And they play the Colts next week, so we'll see what's going on with that. They're gonna win the division by default due to injury.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I'm hoping Seattle smokes their ass, and if they don't, they got to go out to either LA or go to New Orleans, and they're gonna get lit up there too.
Who would you say I would say who would you say the biggest disappointment is in the MC East this year? As far as, I would have to say, I would just, say mine first. It had to be the Washington Redskins.
Talk on it.
I would, and even despite of the injuries, you know what I mean? It's just like with the Eagles, we have a lot of excuses. We just won a Super Bowl. Not a lot of teams can go back and compete. So, okay, scratch the Eagles. The Giants, they're decimated. You know what I mean? Whatever. That shit's breaking apart. They're going to have something new, right? But the Redskins, man, y'all was supposed to be, y'all was 5-2. You know what I mean? Everything was going good. You lost your quarterback, but it's just like y'all was supposed to be the team. Y'all kind of like are the reason why that the Cowboys are doing this. If we was gonna fall off, the Redskins this should have been your year. I say the Redskins are the biggest disappointment, in the NFC East this year.
We're gonna be objective. I'm gonna agree with you 1,000%. And I'm gonna tell you why. And I talked to this to my mother in private conversation.
Right.
Redskins will never go anywhere with Daniel Snyder as our owner. Never.
Damn.
We will continue to be the laughing stock of the NFL with the Cleveland Browns, even though they're looking like they're ascending. So we might be in there by ourselves. With Oakland moving to Las Vegas, we had to watch the Redskins maybe the laughing stock. And it ain't because of the name. It's because we're fucking garbage. And we make terrible front office moves. And we don't care about the organization enough to really build something sustainable. And you can see it year in and year out. Now, I could sit back as a fan and make excuses up and down. We lost our rookie running back who's supposed to be a star. We lost our quarterback. We lost this. We lost that. But let's evaluate that team. And was Alex Smith ever going to take us anywhere past the divisional round of the playoffs? At best, ever. No, he's not that kind of quarterback. He can't throw downfield either. That's why he doesn't. So you look at that move and you look at that personnel move and it makes you almost scratch your head like, damn, why did we make that move? You look at a defense that has showed flashes of greatness, but also show flashes of very undisciplined ball play. You got running backs going and tearing up the field 50, 60 yards a clip. You got bombs being thrown, and these are by your starters. This isn't by anybody that's hurt yet. Now, the highlight was our offensive line. It looked like they had something really going, but you didn't have a quarterback. We needed wide receivers, so there was moves that needed to be made. But when you look over time, you look at the last 20 some odd years with Snyder and the helm, and you look at the debt he put the Redskins in, on top of the fact that he really didn't bring pride there. It was just, until that ownership changes, we're not going anywhere, and we'll be the laughing stock. Now, that being said, easier said than done because he's not going anywhere. He's going to fire himself.
Yeah, exactly. As he owns the team.
You know what I mean?
So hopefully, he'll get somebody, in there, that can make those decisions that he can. Maybe he can, at some point say, let me step back, get somebody here who's competent enough to start drafting guys, bringing guys in who can get this team being competitive, because the NFC was wide open this year. I should have won it. 5-2, you should have won it. Easy.
Look at you, Alex Smith. It's that simple. Like, if you got a quarterback in that position, if you got an Aaron Rodgers, Super Bowl. Yeah. Super Bowl aspirations, because then you sitting there at 11-2, sitting there right up top with your LA and your New Orleans. Right. Win that division, because you should have smoked all them teams. You know what I mean? But it's disappointing. Another disappointing, lackluster year, and it looks like continued to be the same way as long as Daniel Snyder is the owner of the Washington Redskins. You're talking to a fan. HTTR, rest in peace, Sean Taylor. I'm getting brutalized for years, but yeah, until then, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, so what's up with the deal with Odell Beckham? Is he he's the Giants, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would like to see him come to Philly or something. That'd be beautiful.
He just signed a big deal with them, but you know how the NFL is. You can get up out of those contracts, and I don't see him
easily
staying in New York. They got that running back Saquon Barkley, who's a beast too.
Saquon's a beast.
He's a fucking
They compare him
animal,
to Barry Sanders. What do you think about that?
He runs stronger than Barry.
They said he has like the skill set to be the next Barry Sanders. That's one of the articles I think I've seen.
He made a couple Barry-esque runs in the Redskins game, but that being said, we remember Barry Sanders putting on shows on Thanksgiving. I mean,
but no line, like nobody to block.
Sitting at 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, cutting niggas up and going, and taking it to the house.
Yeah.
But I think Saquon is a stronger runner than Barry Sanders, but Barry had that footwork that was impeccable.
Right.
Saquon, it was interesting to see what happens. If he could stay healthy and they can get him an offensive line, he's going to do some damage out there in New York.
Yeah, man, definitely. But yeah, man, it's been another hot fire episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast, the most underrated podcast in the world right now, with your brother SamAnt from Viral Hip Hop News and me, old guy from Hip Hop News Uncensored. Together, we make the Uncensored Truth Podcast, another one in the books, rapidly approaching the 100th episode. We've been rocking out only since March, man, so I can't wait till we hit our 1 year anniversary coming up, so yeah, man, we just ride, man. I'm just excited to be here, and just pushing past all the adversity in our life and doing the damn thing, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, man, when you get met with adversity, you got one or two choices. You could back down, or you can kick the fucking door through.
Yes, sir.
And you can win. You can see what happens and create new opportunities for yourself. And we dedicated ourselves in doing that here when we created the Uncensored Truth Podcast, and we continue to do so. Got some fire things going on in 2019. Shout out to the beautiful people over at Caroline's on Broadway in New York.
Yeah.
If you don't know, you'll see us over there real soon. Shout out to everyone we're communicating with and networking with throughout the United States and beyond. And we can't wait to see or show you guys out there, the loyal listeners of the Uncensored Truth Podcast, Viral Hip Hop News Uncensored.
Yeah.
Everything that goes on behind the scenes, because you see your people on YouTube and they do the numbers and everything, and we don't hate on none of that. We appreciate everything. But if you have no legs to stand on, you can get knocked out just like that. And then when you see the infrastructure, when you see the foundation that's being built, the monster that's being built, it'll be a whole new respect game for the Uncensored Truth Podcast, Hip Hop News, Uncensored Viral Hip Hop News. We appreciate y'all, man. We just try to kill them with work ethic. And yeah, man, I appreciate my cohort. Oh, God. Hey, man, so we just doing the damn thing. The most underrated podcast on the internet today. iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, any motherfucking place they playing podcasts. Right. We doing the damn thing. You better watch out. Sunset Truth Podcast.
Yes, sir. Another episode in the books. We out of here. Peace.
It's only one.